This video is about Pony Island's story, and the twists even the most avid completionists may miss. It will not, however, be going over how one might find these secrets. If you are interested in that type of video, Flemonade has made a great one, going over all that stuff, which you can find in the description. Now, onto the video. Pony Island, a calming, relaxing game about Immediately, it's clear. The game sucks. No music, no colors, not even the start menu works. We have to go inside of the game settings and do some minor coding to fix it. After even more delays, a voice speaks out to us, telling us not to fix it again, as he's plenty sure he's tested it enough, but still welcomes us, officially, to Pony Island. That was Satan, by the way, although I'll be calling him Lucifer. Not to brag, but we're kinda on a first name basis like that. Anyway, we begin to play, and no offense big guy, and I know I'm supposed to be talking about the story here, but the game kinda sucks. Infinite level ups, glitches, and pay souls to win. Just not my kind of game. It gets to the point where the game stops working altogether, and we find ourselves at the start of a console startup page, where we get into contact with a certain hopeless soul. But that's a long title, and he's gonna come up a lot. So, during the video, I'll be calling him Barack Obama 44th President of the United States, because, you know, when I think of them, I think of someone who always helps out the less fortunate. Don't believe me? Oh, well, just look up Obama's Kunduz Hospital. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Anyhow, Hopeless Soul informs us that we are prisoners, caught in the same fate as he and many other souls, forced to playtest this Pony Island game for the rest of eternity. However, if we can destroy 3 core files, there's a chance we could escape. But for now, Lucifer pulls our attention back to Pony Island, with improved loading times. Since we found it oh so easy last time, he's added a tough but fair challenge. That being a group of devil heads that surround us and kill us. This cycle continues over and over with no escape. But if we go into the game's settings, we can find 2 things. One, a sort of wall demon, who, after giving a password to, lets us ask him one of a few questions. Who was I? When did I die? Who killed me? Where did I die? And how did I get here? We'll go over his answers in due time, but what's important for now is that the questions alone show that our character was killed and now in hell, if it somehow wasn't already obvious. We also stumble upon the advanced settings and find the one, the only, the iconic pony laser. Lucifer tries to keep it away from us, but some more hacking lets us acquire this powerful weapon. Despite Satan's objections, we begin wreaking havoc through the courses. The devil is not so pleased with this and gently encourages us to not cheat, while ripping our pony's head clean off its body. He continues yelling insults, and it becomes too much for the machine to handle. Luckily, with the help of all that commotion, Hopeless Soul gets to open another portal, this one heading straight to a core file. To destroy a core, we must first defeat the daemon that defends it. This time we're facing off against Azazel, who fights against our lockpicking attempts by screwing with our coding. Luckily he's trash, and we succeed with our diabolical lick. Now slightly less Hopeless Soul congratulates us on our success. But if we take a look back for a second, and instead look at Azazel's final words, he says that our prophet is false. We have been deceived. The computer reboots and we are treated to the login page. We go in as a guest and talk some more with Hopeless Soul. He mocks Azazel for even suggesting that the false prophet... What was I saying? Well, after getting some passwords, we head into his user interface and learn that to find the next core file, we'll need to delve back into Pony Island, with the all-new introduction of Adventure Mode. Now, I mean, you guys know me. I'd love to say that this Adventure Mode is a game design revolution, as Lucifer insists that it is. But it's really just more of the same. What has this guy been doing with his time? I mean, Lucifer, you okay, big guy? Buddy? Regardless of the literal devil's mental health, we continue on, until reaching a dead end, needing some wings to get past a large body of water, which will take literal days to unlock. Luckily, hacking is a skill in my varied toolset, alongside knowing a weird amount about the Unimclaw horse sex case and a certain Mr. Hands. With our newfound wings, we managed to bridge the gap separating the two islands and continue on. We shoot down more demon heads, talk to the demon on the wall again, which we will get back to, and make it to Satan's Keep. But big guy doesn't quite seem to be ready yet, and blocks off the screen. In darkness we wander, and see a particular looking snowman, all dripped up in his little top hat. He leads us on where we see coding notes, presumably made by Lucifer as he was building the game. We follow his thoughts and watch as he makes the game faster, better, and friendlier, the snowman leading us the entire way. We make it to another portal, hack our way into the somehow now even less finished world, and return to Satan's Keep. As we rush the development, there is no build-up. We go straight into the final boss, Satan himself. Luckily, Hopeless Soul manages to open another portal and pulls us away from the unwinnable fight, straight to a core file, where Beelzebub, the second daemon, awaits us. But with the power of the wings and laser, we dispatch him within seconds. Again, Lucifer tries to convince us to not delete the file, as it'll stop us from playing more Pony Island, but our partner insists. Gas flows out of the machine and puts us to sleep. As we wake up, we seem to be in some sort of arcade, but more importantly, the helmet in front of us hints at our past. I've seen this type of helmet before. No, stop! Just like the Wall Demon's questions, we'll get to what exactly this means in a moment, but for now, it's back to the all-new and now PG Pony Island. A lovely mascot named Louie greets us and sends us right into the action, where we're jumping over fence posts and blowing away butterflies to stop them from tickling us. The goalpost malfunctions, and to keep us entertained while he fixes the problem, Louie sends us to a puzzle break. Let's go. But even once we've returned, the game continues to break, with disappearing imagery, glitched butterflies, and Jesus? As we keep playing, more and more the game glitches, from the trees, the sky, and even the sun, which reveals the Eye of Anubis, watching forevermore. I think it's about time for another puzzle break. After some more, honestly pathetically easy puzzles, we're back in Pony Island, patched right up by Louie. But things quickly devolve around us once again, never staying fixed for long. Louie comes around again, the smile usually dawning his face, now a flat stare. He tells us to leave, as we've already beat the fun levels. But if we give him a little We enter the portal, and it brings us back to Hopeless Soul's login menu. But this time, we can see it without any illusions. We see worshippers whose faces are covered with Anubis's eye, and dozens, if not hundreds of scratches on the wall, each one indicating not days, but years that have passed. To find another spot to open a portal, he's gonna need us to play around in some of Lucifer's prototype Pony Islands, including 3D Pony Island, Devil Island, and the most exhilarating of them all, Pony Island, but entirely text documents. After some more searching, we find a crack in the security, and Hopeless Soul manages to open a final portal, bringing us to the final core file, protected by the final daemon, Asmodeus. His defense system is quite unique compared to the other daemons. All he wants us to do is play a little game with him, one where we merely need to keep our eyes on him. Sounds easy, right? Well, it starts simple, stuff like repeating his name back to him, but grows more and more tricky. While asking us to type down what he says, he tricks us into thinking one of our Steam friends is sending us a message, when in reality he's only tricking us, making us look away so we don't see what he wants us to type. Despite his many tricks, we manage to pull through, and he graciously accepts his defeat. We're left with nothing except the final core file, which we delete. The system forces a reboot in recovery mode. Hopeless Soul reassures us that it's almost over. The final step will be to perform a system dump. However, we will need to stay ahead of said dump to survive. So, he brings up a familiar vessel to help us escape. Souls begin to emerge, and the dump begins as we run for our lives. We shoot files and dodge documents, along with the thousands of other souls stuck in this hell. Satan doesn't plan on letting us escape so easily, and comes out in his final form, no longer content with simply asking for our souls, and starts annihilating spirits left and right, eventually even bringing Louie into the action. The world is in its final stages, and large parts are beginning to disappear. Even with all of his power, the sheer number of angry souls are too much for Lucifer, and we manage to defeat Satan himself. We're pulled away from the computer, back and upwards, finally escaping this personal hell, along with the thousands of other lost souls. The credits roll, and we get one final scene. Hopeless Soul tells us that, despite beating the game, we do not share the same fate as him. While we are now free, he will remain trapped, as long as Pony Island's rotten bits sit on our hard drive. All this time he's been working towards this moment, knowing that if we did not complete the game, we may never uninstall it. So, please do. Delete Pony Island. Save my soul. So, that's the base story that the average player will experience, and it suffices, although unbeknownst to most, the game still hides one massive secret, one that flips the entire plotline, and most importantly, the decision to free or not to free the hopeless soul on its head. Let's start with our own character's identity. First, the questions we get to ask the wall demon. Who was I? Your name was Theodore. You left behind a mother and daughter. When did I die? 1252 years after Christ was born, in the waning summer sun. Who killed me? His name was Abu al-Kindi. He fought for his city. Where did I die? At the foot of Jerusalem's wall, far from your home. How did I get here? Your soul is damned. All damned souls come here before moving on. These clues, along with the Crusader helmet we see our character has, all lead towards our character being a French knight who fought in the very real 7th Crusade, starting during the 13th century, in which the French attempted, and failed, to reclaim the Holy Land by invading Jerusalem, far from his home. After being defeated, the soldiers were either captured or killed. Our character's killer, Abu al-Kindi, who fought for his city against the invasion, was also a very real person alive during the Dark Ages. This seems legit at a glance, however, upon further examination, crumbles apart. The 7th Crusade, its target was Egypt, not Jerusalem. Abu al-Kindi, our supposed killer, was known for many things: a scholar, philosopher, musician, and mathematician, but never a warrior. And even more damning than that, he died 300 years before the 7th Crusade even began. But what does this all mean? Does this universe have slightly different world events than ours, or something far more sinister at play? First, we're gonna have to talk more about Barack Hopeless Soul. What's the deal with this guy? I mean, he seems pretty honest, but every once in a while he'll say things that really just don't make any sense, even asking us to delete the game. What could he really be referring to? Can't be on the arcade machine as we leave it behind. No, he could only be referring to the computer that we play this entire game on. So, is he aware of us playing the game? Well, as we play through Pony Island, we're able to find these pony tickets. If we manage to find each and every one of them during our playthrough, we'll get the secret ending. The credits will roll as per usual, but things change when we see the hopeless soul. Not so happy this time. He's offended that we took the time to find each and every ticket, despite knowing he was being kept prisoner the entire time. He comes to the realization that we must be wanting true completion, utter closure, the ultimate ending, and decides he can provide that. The true final boss begins against our supposed friend, the hopeless soul. He attacks us without pause and brings us to a multitude of familiar looking arenas, all the while portaling in demon heads and lost souls. But even he falls to our full pony power. Truly defeated, he asks us once again to delete the game. It's over. We've done everything. There's nothing left. Just delete it. A horrible truth may be dawning on you at this point, but there's one last piece of evidence that cements everything. If we go into the game's files and merely change a certain 0 into a 2, then reboot the game, we receive a special message from Satan himself, commenting on the fact that we are tampering with the game, and as a reward, lets us into a little secret. His voice changes and distorts into that of the hopeless soul, and says, "Sometimes I like to talk in other voices." Suddenly, everything makes sense. The hopeless soul's concentration on you, despite the thousands of other souls, its insistence on having the plot continue as it needed to, and its determination to convince us to delete the game. Not through intimidation, but through empathy. The thousands of souls we escaped with, all fake. We can even see the hopeless soul conjure up as many as he needs during his boss fight, after they've all supposedly escaped. The daemons warning us that something was amiss, clearly only ever partially under Lucifer's control, and the backstory around our character never quite adding up, as if someone simply took a few events and people from a certain era and threw them together to create the illusion that someone really lived that life. Now, we see Satan's true intentions behind Pony Island. The character we play as, non-existent, only created by the devil to make us think that we're playing a lost soul who's stuck in hell. Deleting the game wasn't an action that would free the hopeless soul, no, it was one that would free the devil himself. Even the eyes of Anubis, which were presumably just another symbol of hell, being the god of death after all, is also a symbol of transcendence to another plane of existence, in this case from hell to the mortal realm. Turns out Barack Obama was the devil himself. Those damn liberals. So, that really changes things up. But there's one last thing. Who or what is the snowman who guides us in the dark? Probably no one. During a developer livestream, Daniel Mullins mentioned that it was a reference to the game's origin, made during a game jam. One of the possible categories was a picture of a snowman, and unlike a certain Mr. Satan, he hasn't reappeared in any other of Daniel Mullins' games. Yet. And I do believe that's everything. There are a few points that you may be wondering about which I haven't touched on. Questions such as who is Lucifer's father? How does this game connect to Daniel Mullins' other works? And is Lucifer connected to the old data? But don't worry, this is not the first nor the last video I will be making on Daniel Mullins' games. All will be touched on in future videos. I'll be sure to answer questions in the comments, but for now, thanks for watching, and subscribe if you want to know when the next video comes out. 'Cause guys, fellas,
what the fuck is this?